What's going on, guys? Roger here with QVO Tactical. In today's video, we are taking a stroll down memory lane, but with a modern twist. You guys all know that I'm a big fan of the 1911 platform, especially when it comes to the 1911 Operator from Springfield. Well, in today's video, we are checking out the Springfield Operator, but this time it's chambered 9mm. Now, as always, I'd like to tell you guys how I go about getting these products in for review. You all know that we have a great working relationship with the team over at Springfield Armory. When I found out that they were releasing one of my favorite guns, but now chambered in 9mm, I reached out and asked if we could do a video on it. They agreed with the idea and sent us this gun free of charge for us to use in this video and for future content. If you guys are liking these videos, please let us know down below by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel if you're new here. Also, drop us a line in the comment section with your thoughts on the 1911 platform. Do you think it's outdated, or does it still have a place in the gun world? Now, if you're interested in the specs of this new 1911, make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video as we will break it all down there. But for now, let's get into the range footage. As always, we recorded our first rounds through the gun. All right, guys, out here getting our first rounds on the 9mm Operator. But before we did that, I wanted us to all take shots out of the 45 caliber Operator, just so we could really appreciate the difference between the 45 and the 9mm. You guys all know one of our major videos on the channel was my old duty weapon, the Springfield TRP Operator, one of my favorite 1911s. But we have their newer version of the Operator here in 45. So we'll shoot this first, then we'll shoot the 9mm, and we'll see what everybody thinks. So I got, looks like 8 rounds here. 45 cal, I think 230 grain, here we go. Oh man, so one thing I do like about shooting the 1911 versions of 45s is having that full metal frame in addition to the stainless steel slide or the steel slide. When I've shot the 45 2011s with the polymer grips, I definitely notice a recoil difference. Don't get me wrong, this thing still has a little bit of punch to it, but not nearly as much as when I shoot the double stacked 45 2011s. But I have not shot this thing yet, so everything I love about the Operator 1911, but now in my favorite caliber, 9mm. What do I got? 10 rounds of some 124 Blazers. Here we go, first rounds. Oh my God, that should, okay, that felt like a 22. Yo! Woohoo! All right, so definitely everything I thought it was gonna be, especially when you guys shoot it right up against, like Pepsi challenge style, right up against the 45. It is a crazy noticeable difference. Coming down here, let's go look at the hits. They're kind of all over the place. The 45 ones anyway. So you guys see 45 was kind of doing all this, and then 9mm here, and then when I started really climbing up here, but yeah, I'll take that all day long. You know, I know back in the day when I was in law enforcement, the whole debate 45 versus 9. I carried a 1911 because at the time that's all the 1911 was made in 2003. The TRP Operator, just that grip angle, I was able to present the gun and the bullet went where I want it to go. That's why I ended up going with the 1911. And now them coming out with it, you know, literally 20 years later in a 9mm version, I definitely wanted to get one. So I'm gonna have Gabe and Landon hop up here, let them shoot their first rounds and see what they think. All right, we got Gabe up with the 45 cal Operator first. Go for it, bud. And now right into the 9mm version. Ooh.
Yeah.
Night and day, right?
Yeah, that definitely threw me off at first. It's just right back from doing the 45, I was kind of almost getting ready to anticipate it, but it just felt like nothing. That feels good though. I like that.
Look at the hits.
Yeah. I definitely got a little too excited on the 9mm over here. We'll ignore that. But no, I definitely like that 9mm. That feels good.
Nice. All right, we got Landon up. Same drill, bud. 45 first, 9mm after. Go for it. Excited for this one.
if you haven't shot a steel frame 9 in general, get out and try one, because the recoil is just dull. The 45, I definitely went slower because you can feel a little more of that push. It's not a snappy recoil impulse. But with the 9, you can really speed up because that sight just keeps falling right back where it was. 80 rounds that drop low, that was all me, just trying to go fast. But that gun is tracking true, and I highly recommend anybody, boys, go out and try one.
So shooting both models side by side with the only difference being the caliber was something that I wanted to do on camera so everybody could really appreciate how different the same exact gun feels when going from 45 to a 9mm. The gun feels really great in the hand, it points very naturally, and because of that minimal recoil, you're able to get multiple shots on target very fast and accurately. I've used my other operators as home protection guns for a while, and I definitely think that the 9mm version will do just as well. Speaking of protection, guys, I want to take a minute to talk to you about a different type of protection, online data protection to be exact. As most of you guys know, our YouTube account was recently hacked, and it got me thinking about how safe is my personal information on the internet and who has access to it. This is where Delete Me, an online personal information removal service, and also the sponsor of this video, comes into play. I recently began using the Delete Me subscription service to find out who has my personal information online and who is selling it, and also how I can have it stopped. These data brokers are companies that collect large amounts of your personally identifiable information from government websites and social media. They then clean up your information and they put it in a nice little package that they license and sell. I just completed my first Delete Me report, and they were able to find out that 41 different data broker companies had my personal information with over 1,000 listings. Delete Me automatically contacts each one of these data brokers on your behalf and demands that the removal process begin. When you sign up for the Delete Me subscription service, you will complete a data sheet which will allow them to produce your first report. As you can see from my findings, many companies had access to not only my name, but previous addresses, relatives, property values, and even my personal phone number. Like many of you watching, at first I thought that this type of data breach was just annoying with the marketing and ad campaigns. It wasn't until our channel recently got hacked and 5 years of hard work was almost wiped clean that I realized I needed to find out how much of my information was out there. Delete Me privacy protection has got me started on the right track, and then will keep me on track with additional reports done every 90 days. This will ensure that companies attempting to sell or license any of my personal identifiable information are stopped. If you're like me, you most likely have precautions set up in your home, such as alarm systems, surveillance cameras, or doorbell cams. Now, if I would do all of these things to protect my home, I definitely need to consider doing the same to protect my information on the internet. If you're interested in trying out the Delete Me privacy protection program, make sure to use our code Roger and the link down below in the description of this video. We appreciate Delete Me sponsoring this video, and like I said, after recent events with our YouTube channel being hacked, it is nice to have additional protection in place. Now let's get back to the video with our favorite drill, the build drill.
1.63.
Hey-o.
Ready.
Time?
1.78.
7-8. Last one.
Ready.
Time?
1.66.
Nice. All right, we got Gabe up now. Build drills. Here we go.
Ready.
Two, 5-4, 2 misses. Got a tack mag, everyone. Remember, single stack. Stand by.
Ready.
Two, 2-6. Think you had one miss. It's that 1911 grip angle, huh?
Yeah.
Ready.
273 clean though, and then a total of 291 for all 7 shots clean. That trigger, man.
Yeah, that triggers something. I like this gun.
What that was. Dude, that was a 189 clean. First shot was a 112. Best split was a .14. You might have to get a 1911, bro.
Buy one of these
you had 2 misses. Best split was a 13 though.
Let that climb.
Landon came out swinging. Last one, here we go.
Ready.
7 shots. It's a 201 for 6 with 1 miss. Best split was a 14. Bro, that first run.
Let's just keep the first run.
Now, if you're curious about how we filmed this portion of the video with our shot times overlaid onto our video footage, I'll explain it for you. We are using the SG shot timer from Shooters Global. This is a new timer that has recently come to market and easily has some of the coolest features I've seen in a shot timer to date. We have a full video coming out on this product, so definitely stay tuned for that. But in short, guys, the shot timer syncs up with your smartphone and allows you to video record through your phone while having all of your split times and shot times overlaid directly onto your footage. It's really a cool tool that allows us to show you our hits and our speed in real time. Now, because you guys keep hearing me talk a lot about how this gun points naturally, I wanted to do some single shots from the holster on a mini A-Zone steel target while using a shot timer. All right, guys, so like I was saying in the studio, we're gonna do some single shots from the holster for time. We're shooting a mini A-Zone target, so it's only about 6 inches wide. The reason I wanna do this is I'm a 1911 shooter, and that grip angle for me, when I present the gun, it just naturally lines the sights up and gives me a good sight picture for my normal presentation. I don't have to camp my wrist or do anything like that, but that's just for me. Gabe is more of a Glock shooter, so this is gonna be a little more difficult for him, and Landon's kind of in the middle figuring out which one he likes. So I want all 3 of us to hop on here, shoot 3 to 5 rounds from the holster for time on an A-Zone target, and just see what kind of times we're getting and see how it feels for them. So here's my first shot. Here we go. Stand by. Got a 115. Let's see if we can get that a little more down. Here we go. Right over the left ear for a 9.8. I missed so fast. Right in the neck for a 1 second flat. Right in the head for a 9.6, one more. For a 103. So again, guys, for me, when I bring that gun up with this grip angle, it just naturally lines up that front sight and the rear sight to where it gives me a good sight picture, and I can press that shot off. It's easy to find the front sight, and like I said, you guys know watching the channel, I mainly shoot red dot optics on handguns. So coming back to irons, which I will say I shot for a good 10-15 years before I jumped in the red dot world. So I'm gonna have Gabe and Landon hop up here and have them run this drill and get their thoughts. All right, we got Gabe up now. He's more of a Glock shooter, so we'll see how this goes for him with the 1911. Stand by. Nice, 152. Stand by. Mm. 139 with the miss. Let's go again. Stand by. 145. Stand by. 138. One more. 142. So in the 1.4s you're consistently hitting. You try to go like 0.5 of a second faster. That's where you're getting those misses.
Going a little bit, yeah.
So are you noticing when you come up, you're having to bring your grip more, like instead of how I have to camp my wrist down, you're canting your wrist up?
Yep. It's definitely something to get used to, but I know once I get more rounds down, I can definitely dial that time down.
All right, we got Landon up now. Single shots from the holster, mini A-Zone steel, 7 yards out. Here we go. .144. Let's go again. Stand by. There you go. Ooh, that's a 128. Stand by. 114.
Off the right side.
132. 121. Come on. Woo! 1.01.
Oh. Well,
So as soon as you hear that buzzer, man, think of like you're gonna elbow somebody behind you super hard. There you go.
Okay.
Knee-jerk reaction. Let's go again. You gotta get that. 1.01, you can get under 1. Here we go, stand by. Oh, 9.4, but a miss. Stand by. .88. Line up those sights before you press. Here we go. Stand by. Stand by. .102. Come on. Just move a second or half a second faster. There you go. That is a .93.
We'll take it.
He's like, I'm out of here.
What was it?
.93.
Oh, okay. Finally. Yeah, like Roger was saying, I shoot Glocks, I shoot 911s, working at the shop and stuff like that. I'm more of a rifle shooter though, so this is all foreign to me, and I'm still trying to figure out presenting that gun right, more natural. It'll get better over time, but right now, I'm working through it.
Now, we brought out a really cool holster that we make here at QBO Tactical to the range with us for this video. I wanted to take a minute to show you guys the holster while we're out on the range. While we're on the range, I wanted to show you guys this about one of our holsters. For those of you who don't know, I own QBO Tactical here in Las Vegas. We make custom Kydex holsters. The one that we've been using out on the range today is our secondary OWB holster. Attaches to QLS, can throw it on your Safariland UBL fork, or use the fork on here to put on your UBL hanger. But one of the cool things that we do a lot of different interesting fabric overlays. If you follow our Instagram, you've definitely seen them there. But one of the new fabric overlays we have is one that actually changes color with heat. So this, it's 105 degrees out today, so it's already yellow. But if I take this piece of ice and we go over it, changes it back to red. So when the holster is cold or cool, it's red, and then when it heats up, it goes to yellow. So purely aesthetics, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fabric overlay does give you a little more protection over the Kydex underneath it, but just some cool stuff. We like to have fun in the shop and make, you know, different and interesting cool things. But for those that were wondering about, hey, what do some of the fabric overlays do? Well, this new one that we have is color changing with heat, and I think it's really cool, super fun. Like I said, we like to have fun in the shop. So if you're looking for a holster for this setup or any other setup that we might have or offer on the website, definitely check us out. Again, it's qvotactical.com, and yeah, back to the range. Now, from those two clips alone, you definitely could tell the difference in recoil between the 45 and the 9mm versions. To even better illustrate this though, here are both guns being shot side by side in slow motion at 100 frames per second. Now, before we hopped off the range, I wanted to make sure we got Landon and Gabe's final thoughts on the 9mm operator. All right, Landon, 1911, 9mm operator. What do you think, bud?
I am a big fan, man. If anybody hasn't had a chance to shoot an all-steel 1911, there's almost no recoil. Trigger's great, super short reset, no take-up, track true, and just a really fast, fun gun to shoot, man. Yeah, you had your fastest build drill, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna just say that's all the gun right there. I'm still learning, but definitely with this gun, it's easy to shoot, easy to point, and might think about picking one up.
All right, Gabe, I know you primarily shoot Glocks, but we started you on 1911, so I know you still have a soft spot for them.
I do. For being a steel, 9mm at least, because I'm used to doing, you know, 2011s and more staccatos. But this 1911 platform and the 9mm feels really great. Did take me a little while to get back up and on it. Very flat shooting once you get that groove down, and that angle feels also nice. Took me a little bit to get used to being used to Glocks, but trigger felt good. Gun ran very smooth. I'm a pretty big fan of it. I'm definitely going to be plinking around with it some more eventually.
Nice. I'll be sure to give you guys my final thoughts at the end of the video, but for right now, let's get into the specs of this new offering from Springfield Armory. The 1911 Operator by Springfield Armory is their duty grade 1911 featuring a forged frame and slide with a match grade 5-inch barrel. You're also going to notice the ambidextrous safety, a tritium front sight with a tactical rear sight, and a skeletonized hammer. The frame and slide feature a nice black Cerakote finish with front and rear serrations. The included G10 grips from VZ Grips do a great job at providing just the right amount of surface texture, and there's also a nice scalloped area for your thumb to make it easier to access that mag release. And the last thing you're going to notice is the 3/4 Picatinny accessory rail for weapon lights like this Surefire X300. All right, guys, with the specs out of the way, let's get into my overall thoughts on this 1911. You all know that I carried a Springfield TRP operator as a police officer here in Las Vegas. It is one of my favorite guns as it is very easy to shoot. This gun is very similar to the TRP, minus a little bit of the grip texture and upgraded components, but man, does it shoot much flatter. I don't really run irons a lot anymore. However, with how flat this gun shoots, it was very easy to track my front sight the entire time while shooting. If you come across an opportunity to shoot both of these guns side by side, I think that you're going to be very surprised, just like we were. It's one thing to understand that 9mm has less recoil than 45, but shooting them side by side definitely emphasizes it so much more. The gun retails for just under $1,200, and you can find it online for a little under $1,100. For a well-built 1911 with ambidextrous features and a Picatinny rail, I think it is very fairly priced. We had a blast on the range. We didn't experience a single malfunction, and we ran about 350 rounds through the gun, and it was about 106 degrees out when we were shooting out in the desert. Now, are there some things that I wish were different? Of course. I do wish that they make a double stacked version, and I know you guys are going to say, well, they already make the Prodigy. I'm not talking about the Prodigy. I'm talking about a full metal frame double stacked 1911. And yes, I also wish that it was optic cut from the factory. I'm also hoping that down the road they make a TRP version in the 9mm as well, as that specific model has additional features like the checkered strapping along the grip and a mag well and a bull barrel. Guys, that's going to wrap up this video. If you're in the market for a 1911 that gives you a little bit of the traditional side mixed with a little bit of the modern, then I would definitely check out this 1911, the operator chambered 9mm from Springfield Armory. Big shout out to Chad, Stephanie, and Alex from Springfield for always taking care of us here at QVO Tactical. We appreciate their support. Thank you to everyone for checking out this video. Be sure to like and subscribe as it does help out the channel. As always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.